Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Apologies for no videos for the last couple of weeks. I come down with this horrible cough, cold, flu thing, and I didn't think you wanted me sounding like a croaky frog while you were trying to enjoy the topic. I still have a little bit of it, so bear with me. So this is actually a follow-up to the last video I did, which was the using AI in your D&D games. Because after I did that video, YouTube recommended a video to me, which was a little bit of an odd one. It was from people who don't play D&D. They were urban explorers, and unfortunately the weather for them had gone really bad. They were stuck in a caravan, and they got ChatGPT on their iPad to run them a game of D&D. 4 of them made characters and had the AI thing run it for them. And I had heard of people doing this, and it's never crossed my mind. I'm much more of a face-to-face, person to person. I'm an introvert, but if I'm going to play D&D, I want to play it with people. But I thought, hey, let's give it a try. Let's actually give ChatGPT a chance to show whether it can be a good dungeon master. So I took a character that I am planning to play in a campaign in the hopefully not so distant future, a warlock named Petronella. And the concept is for her, she's like about a 20-year-old tavern, well, not tavern wench, but she's sort of like the daughter of the tavern keeper. An extra normal person in the world of things, and she gets tapped by some higher power. I'd already decided, great old one, because the idea is she's a very good person, character good. So she knows this power is coming from some sort of dark source. She senses it, something's tapped her, but if she gives it up, she goes back to being normal, and she can't have that. So it gives me an idea of the balance of the character in the campaign when I get to play her. And I thought, well, let's take Petronella and see what ChatGPT does. So I already have all my homebrew world documents uploaded on there, and I use it to, as I've said before, come up with ideas for things to do with my setting and adventures. And I asked it to run me a D&D game of the 2024 edition. I uploaded the details of my character, pardon me, and off it went. And it to be fair to it, it didn't do too badly. It gave me like a session 0 thing where it explained how she got her powers and all this sort of stuff. It was a really cool little roleplay moment. And then what it did was it set the campaign that it was running in the titular city of my campaign setting, which is Heroes of Bardsgate, so the city of Bardsgate. And it came up with an amazing, really clever campaign concept. It was nothing I would have ever thought of, and it's a bit weird even for D&D, but it worked. It actually did work. So she, through the course of the character got up to 5th level, and I must have played this on and off for about a week. I chose when to level, and sometimes I would ask it just to run like a little monster hunt so I could get some treasure and kill monsters. But it came up with this really weird idea of bureaucracy as an almost eldritch horror, which was amazing. It came up with this idea that someone in the city or outside the city, we haven't really got to that stage with it, was using almost bureaucracy of the city to make people disappear, either physically or they just didn't exist in tax records. There's no record of them ever working somewhere. They couldn't get loans or jobs or anything like this. And driving people out, and it come up with this weird conspiracy sort of concept and some allies that the character Petronella made. And when it came to the monsters, pardon me again, it came up with something really clever. It kind of took the almost Lovecraftian concepts, and the monsters as they were aspects of the bureaucracy that was being used. They were out of phase with everybody else because people go about their business, but because Petronella was touched by this outside force, she could sense where they were, and it was amazing. It was really, really clever. I'm not giving it enough credit. How it went otherwise, it did make a couple of mistakes. It tried to use rules or wordings from the 2014 version of D&D. And when I pointed it out, it corrected itself, which was good. And it even corrected me. I'd made a mistake with my character creation. Partway through a fight, we realised, and it went, this is wrong. This does this, and you need this. And it very politely said, we'll halt the fight while you go and fix it and then come back. Which was awesome. So I really enjoyed it. It took me a little while to realise, however, because there was quite some tense moments in the way the game was going. But it took me a little while to realise the one flaw I think that it really, really has as a dungeon master for a solo game. So there's me pondering how I'm going to do certain things and, the potential outcomes. And then I realised that whatever I put in, whatever I suggested, whatever my course of action, it ran combat's fine. Combat's nice and legal. But if I came up with an idea or a concept, I was always successful. It always found a way to make it work, which I was a little disappointed with when I realised that, because I wanted to have failure as part of it as well, and it just doesn't seem to let you do that. Whether it would do the same thing again if I played a different character, I did ask it, would it have run the same campaign had I not been the warlock? And it said it would have used similar elements. It didn't really base it around what I was playing. But I do wonder whether if I created a more martial character, something like a fighter, a paladin, or a cleric, something like that, and had it run a dungeon crawl instead, where I just explored corridors and rooms, fought monsters and collected treasure, whether it would try and do something weird and unusual as well. I might give that a go at some point. So it was fun, but I don't really think it works very well running a game. It comes up with great ideas, but I don't think it comes up well enough with the same sort of insights and leeway that a real dungeon master would have, a real person across the table from you. But it was certainly fun. So my question here is whether yourselves have played any D&D or other role-playing games using one of these AI chat things as the dungeon master, and what your experiences were. For me, I thought it was okay. It was certainly a fun way to pass some time, but it's not something I'd want to do all that often. Anyway, just a quick little vid, get back into the swing of things. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. And again, guys, I know AI is a very touchy subject, especially in sort of like our community, but let's not turn around and go AI is trash or you shouldn't do this. I'm just looking for actual thoughts and experiences from yourselves having used AI to run the likes of D&D. Anyway, thank you for watching. Take care, guys. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and good gaming.